The wedding that stopped at the I do. My name is Ellen, and there were exactly 2 minutes left before I said I do at the altar when I decided to destroy my fiancé's life in front of 200 people. He was standing there, smiling at me, having no idea that I knew he had been cheating on me with his best friend. And her? She was sitting in the third row, wearing pink, holding the bouquet that I had chosen for the guests. No one suspected a thing, but I knew everything. Look, I had spent years imagining this day. Since I was 15, I already knew what the party would be like, the decorations, and every little detail, until I met the love of my life. Or so I thought. If you're someone who likes stories, revelations, and revenge, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and leave a like if this video helps you. I met Chris 5 years ago at a cafe. I was studying for a college exam and he was reading a book. Our eyes met, he smiled, I smiled back, and the rest is history. At least, that's what I told everyone. The truth is that meeting changed my life in a way I never imagined. Chris was perfect. Funny, affectionate, intelligent. He treated me like a princess. He took me out to dinner, gave me flowers for no reason, sent me good morning texts every single day. He was everything I had ever wanted. And when he proposed 2 years later, it was magical. He organized a picnic in a park, set up a trail of flowers, hired a hidden photographer to capture everything. When he got down on one knee and opened the box, I couldn't believe it. I said yes before he even finished the question. It was the happiest day of my life. Wedding planning was intense. I wanted everything to be perfect. Every detail mattered. Chris helped when he could, but he was always busy with work. So the person who was really by my side through everything was Chloe, his best friend since college. She was a fashion designer, so she helped me choose the dress, the decorations, the flowers, everything. We spent months together, organizing every detail. I even joked that she was more excited about the wedding than I was. I should have found that strange, but I didn't. Chloe was always very present in Chris's life. They talked every day. She was always at the apartment when I arrived. She always had an excuse to show up. I came to drop off a book Chris asked for. I came by to invite you out for a drink. I was nearby and decided to say hi. And Chris always said it was normal, that they had been friends for years, that I didn't need to be jealous of such an old friendship. And I believed him, because I trusted him. 3 weeks before the wedding, I was at the office finishing some reports when I got a call from Chloe. She was crying. She said she had fought with her boyfriend and needed to talk. I told her to go to my place and said I'd be there in an hour. She thanked me through sobs and hung up. But 40 minutes later, my boss let me leave early. I decided to surprise her and buy some wine and chocolates to comfort Chloe. I got in my car and went straight home. When I opened the apartment door, I heard noises coming from the bedroom. That's when the ground disappeared beneath my feet. They weren't sounds of crying. They were other sounds, sounds I knew very well. My heart started pounding so fast I thought I might faint. My hands started shaking. I knew what was happening, but my brain refused to accept it. I walked slowly down the hallway. The bedroom door was half open. And then I saw it, Chris and Chloe, in my bed, the bed I had chosen, on the sheets I had bought. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't make a sound. I just stood there, frozen, watching my entire world collapse in silence. My whole body was shaking, but I couldn't move. I couldn't take my eyes off that image that would stay burned into my mind forever. I don't know how long I stood there. It could have been seconds, it could have been minutes, but at some point I managed to move. I walked back down the hallway, left the apartment, closed the door quietly, and went down the stairs like a zombie.
I sat in my car in the apartment parking lot and stayed there for a few minutes in shock from what I had seen. I decided to leave quickly. I had no idea what to do or where to go until I finally started the car and drove off. On the way, lost in my thoughts, I decided to go to my parents' house. When I arrived, I locked myself in my old bedroom and collapsed. I cried so much that I lost my voice. I screamed into my pillow until my throat hurt. I punched the bed until my hands were red. All the pain, all the anger, all the betrayal I was feeling came out at once. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Chris calling. Chloe texting. "Where are you? I'm waiting for you at home. Are you coming?" They didn't know I had seen everything. They thought everything was fine, that they could keep fooling me. And this is where it gets really interesting, because while I was there, destroyed and crying, a part of my brain started working, a cold, calculating part that wanted more than just breaking up with Chris. I wanted revenge. I wanted him to feel at least half the pain I was feeling. So I did something I never imagined I'd be capable of. I wiped my tears, took a deep breath, and started planning. I replied to the messages normally. "Sorry, I had to deal with something here. I'll be home later." I called Chris and pretended everything was fine. I said I had gone to visit my parents as a surprise and wanted to show my mom some photos of the dress. He believed me. Of course he did. After all, I had always been the trusting girlfriend who never suspected anything. I spent the night awake, creating a plan. A perfect plan. I wasn't going to cancel the wedding. I wasn't going to confront them beforehand. I wasn't going to give them a chance to make excuses or make me look crazy. I was going to let everything happen exactly as planned. Until the right moment. In the days that followed, I went back home and acted as if nothing had happened. I kissed Chris when he got home from work. I laughed at his jokes. I slept beside him. And I died a little inside every time I had to pretend. Chloe kept helping me with the wedding. We went together to pick up the favors, check the venue decorations, do the cake tasting. She smiled at me, hugged me, said she was happy to be part of my special day, and I smiled back, while inside I planned how I was going to destroy her too. But I needed proof, because it wasn't enough for just me to know. I needed everyone to know. So I hired a private investigator. I explained the situation and asked him to get as much evidence as possible. Photos, videos, conversations, everything. He delivered the results a week later. And honestly, it was worse than I imagined. They had been together for 2 years. 2 years, since before Chris even proposed to me. The investigator had photos of them entering hotels together, kissing in parking lots, holding hands at the movies. There were screenshots of conversations where they laughed at me, where they planned to meet while I was at work, where Chloe said she loved helping me with the wedding because it allowed her to stay close to Chris. There were even messages where they discussed whether they should tell me the truth or not. And do you know what they decided? That it was better to wait until after the wedding, because then Chris would have access to the inheritance his grandfather had left him, which he would only receive once he was married. After that, they planned to divorce me and finally be together. I was literally a means to an end. I read every message. I saw every photo. And every piece of evidence fueled the rage growing inside me. But I couldn't explode. Not yet. I had to wait for the right moment. 3 days before the wedding, I went to an audio-visual technician. I told him I wanted to make a special surprise during the ceremony and emotional video for the groom. He loved the idea, installed a huge screen behind the altar, tested everything, said it would look beautiful. He had no idea what kind of video I was going to show. I spent the next 2 nights editing. I gathered all the photos and videos the investigator had obtained, added screenshots of the conversations, put dramatic music in the background. I made a 10-minute video showing the entire betrayal, every lie, every secret meeting, every message talking about me. It was a work of art that would destroy two people. On the wedding day, I woke up strangely calm. I had breakfast, did my skincare routine, let the makeup artist and hairstylist do their work. I put on my dress. I was beautiful, exactly how I had always dreamed of being on my wedding day.
My mother was crying with emotion. My friends were taking pictures. Everyone was happy, excited, completely unaware of the bomb that was about to explode. The flash drive with the video was in my purse. I had given a copy to a trusted friend, the one who knew everything and was helping me. She would signal the technician at the right moment. I arrived at the church. It was packed. 200 people. The decorations were perfect. The flowers I had chosen were beautiful. Everything exactly as I had planned months earlier. The only difference was that now I knew the truth. I saw Chloe sitting in the third row. She was wearing pink, just like I had asked the guests to do. She smiled at me when I walked past, blew me a kiss. I blew a kiss back. Hypocrite. My father took my arm. Ready, sweetheart? I looked at him and smiled. More than ever, Dad.
We started walking down the aisle. The music was playing. Everyone stood up. Phones were recording. I saw smiles, tears of emotion, loving looks. And there at the front, next to the priest, was Chris, in a tuxedo, handsome, smiling at me with a smile that meant nothing anymore. I reached the altar. My father kissed my forehead and went to sit down. The priest began to talk about love, fidelity, commitment. Every word was an irony. He talked about how marriage was sacred, about how important it was to be honest with your partner, about how trust was the foundation of everything. I almost laughed out loud. Chris held my hand. It was sweaty, probably nervous. I squeezed back, not because I was happy, but because I knew what was coming. The priest began the vows. Christopher, do you accept Ellen as your lawful wife, to love and respect her, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? I do, Chris said, smiling. Liar. Ellen, do you accept Christopher as your lawful husband, to love and respect him, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? I looked at Chris. He was looking at me with so much fake love it was almost tangible. Then I looked at the audience. I saw my family, my friends, and I saw Chloe in the third row looking at us with a smile on her face. No, I said. The silence was instant. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone froze. Chris blinked. What? I said no, I repeated, louder this time. I don't accept, because I found out you've been cheating on me. The murmuring began, soft at first, then louder. Chris turned pale. Ellen, what are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? Lost my mind? I smiled. No, Chris, I just finally opened my eyes. And since we're all here, gathered to celebrate our love, how about sharing with everyone what I discovered? I signaled my friend. She nodded to the technician. The screen behind the altar lit up. And then it started. The first image showed Chris and Chloe kissing at the entrance of a hotel. The caption read, 2 years ago. The church erupted in shocked gasps. I heard my mother scream. I heard someone say, that can't be real. But it was only the beginning. The images kept coming. Chris and Chloe holding hands at the movies. Chloe leaving our apartment in the morning. Chris entering her apartment at night. Each photo had a date and time. Impossible to deny. Then came the screenshots of the messages. I can't wait for us to finally be together for real. She has no idea, poor thing. I love helping her with the wedding. I get to be near you all the time. As soon as I get the inheritance, we dump her and stay together. The church was in complete chaos. People were standing up, shouting, pointing. I saw Chris's mother covering her mouth with her hands. I saw my brother jumping out of his seat. And I saw Chloe. She was panicking, trying to sneak out. "Chloe!" I shouted. She froze. "Don't leave just yet. You're part of the ceremony, remember? After all, you helped me plan all of this. It would be unfair for you to miss the best part." She stood there, tears streaming down her face, while everyone stared at her with disgust. Chris tried to grab my arm. "Ellen, please, let me explain." "Explain what?" I pulled away. "That you cheated on me for 2 years? That you proposed just to get your grandfather's inheritance? That you planned to divorce me afterward? It's all there, Chris, in front of everyone. There's no explanation that changes that." "I love you," he started. "You don't love me," I screamed, my voice echoing through the church. "You never loved me. I was convenient. I was the idiot who believed everything you said. I was the means for you to get what you wanted. But it's over, Chris. It's over." The video kept playing. More photos, more messages. Every second was more humiliating for them, and for me too, but I was enjoying it. I turned to the audience. "I'm sorry for wasting your time. I'm sorry for making you come to a wedding that was based on lies. But I needed you to see it. I needed everyone to know what kind of person Chris really is, and what kind of person Chloe is too." I looked at Chloe. She was sobbing, hands covering her face. "You were my friend. I trusted you. I told you my fears, my dreams, my secrets, and you betrayed me in the worst possible way. I hope it was worth it." I picked up my bouquet and threw it on the floor. "The wedding is canceled, but the party will go on. The food is already paid for, the drinks too. Enjoy. I'm leaving." And that's exactly what I did. I lifted my dress and started walking. Chris followed me. "Ellen, wait. Please, we can talk." I stopped, turned around, looked him straight in the eyes. "There's nothing to talk about, Chris. You made your choice. Now live with the consequences." I kept walking. I left the church with my head held high, while chaos erupted behind me. Shouting, crying, arguments. I got into the car waiting for me and drove away. And the moment the door closed, I broke down. I cried the entire way. I sobbed so hard I could barely breathe. All the adrenaline, all the anger, all the pain I had been holding in came out at once. I had gotten my revenge. I had exposed them in front of everyone. But it still hurt. It hurt a lot. The days that followed were a blur. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Chris called me hundreds of times, sent long messages begging for forgiveness, saying he'd made a mistake, that he truly loved me. Chloe sent voice messages crying, saying she was sorry, that she never meant to hurt me. I blocked them both everywhere. My parents were devastated. My mother wouldn't stop crying. My father wanted to go to Chris's house to have a serious talk with him. My friends came to see me every day, bringing ice cream and chocolate, trying to cheer me up. The story spread. Everyone knew. It was the gossip of the town. "Did you see what happened at Ellen's wedding? I can't believe he did that. And with his best friend on top of that?" Part of me felt bad for exposing everything that way, but most of me didn't regret it at all. They deserved it. They deserved the humiliation, the shame, the judgment. 3 months later, here I am, telling this story to you. How am I doing? Look, I won't lie. There are days that are really hard. Days when I wake up, remember everything, and don't want to get out of bed. Days when I see the wedding dress stored in the closet and start crying. Days when I think about everything I planned that never happened. But there are also good days. Days when I wake up and feel free. Free from a relationship built on lies. free from someone who never deserved me, free to start over.
Started therapy. My psychologist has helped me a lot to process everything, to understand that none of this was my fault, that I couldn't have predicted it, that trusting someone doesn't make you stupid, it makes you human. I went back to doing things I loved and had put aside. I returned to my dance classes. I started reading again. I go out with my friends every week. I'm rediscovering who I am without being Chris's fiance. And as for Chris and Chloe, apparently they didn't stay together. After everything came out, their relationship imploded too. He lost several friends. His family no longer speaks to him. And the inheritance? His grandfather changed the will after learning the story. Chris won't see a single cent of it. Chloe lost several clients after the story spread. After all, who wants to hire a fashion designer with no character? I heard she moved to another city, trying to start over away from the judgment. I don't feel sorry, not even a little. Life surprises us in ways we never imagine. Sometimes the people we love are capable of the worst betrayals, but we survive. We always survive. I survived, and not only did I survive, I came out stronger. I learned to listen to my intuition. I learned that if something feels off, it probably is. I learned that trust is important, but you should always trust yourself first. And I learned that revenge, when well executed, can be very satisfying. I'm not saying everyone should do what I did. Every situation is unique. But if you're going through something similar, if someone betrayed you, if your heart is broken right now, I want you to know one thing. You will be okay. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you will. And when you're ready, you'll find someone who truly deserves you, someone who doesn't need a second person hidden away, someone who chooses you every day, not out of convenience, but because they truly love you, because you deserve that. You deserve to be truly loved. As for me, I'm focusing on myself now, on healing, growing, becoming the best version of myself. And maybe one day, when I'm ready, I'll find someone worth it. But for now, I'm okay being alone. I'm learning to love myself before loving someone else, and that is liberating. The next video has even more stories you won't believe. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like.